In 2016, I hit my breaking point. By all outward appearances, I had achieved the American dream. I had a successful career as a social worker. I was working full-time in academia at the time. I had a house, a car, the pets, a partner. All of these things that I had been taught were the epitome of success. And yet, I wasn't happy. I was starting to see the cracks in the way that I had been taught to believe about myself, believe about the world around me, and believe about what it meant to even help people to begin with. I was starting to see patterns in the reasons why we see the same problems present person after person, year after year, decade after decade, century after century. This growing internal awareness took me down a deep process of unraveling. I had to deconstruct everything I had ever been taught about myself and about the world around me, and really find a way to reconstruct my own vision and understanding of what it meant to be a human and what being a happy and healthy human actually looked like. What a happy and healthy society, a happy and healthy culture actually looked like. This journey ultimately led me to completely leave my career path. I left my hometown, I left my house, I left everything I had known behind, including many aspects of myself and the way that I had always been. And I hit the road on a travel adventure, following a vision that lived in my heart that I didn't even know if could be reflected in reality around me, but I knew I had to try. I knew I couldn't stay where I was. This journey unfolded for the next 2 years, taking me on a travel adventure from a work trade in rural New Mexico, up and down the coast of California, living in a van, and eventually for a year spent with Radical Fairies, a group of radical queer people out in Northern California. This experience fundamentally changed me and changed how I saw the world around me on a core radical level. I began to see that the paradigms, the belief systems, the cultural norms we follow, all of these are a huge part of the problem. They're a huge part of why I wasn't happy and why I have met so many other people who feel the same way I felt. Because the reality is there's core things in this society, in this culture that aren't working for us. There's core things that are driving our unhappiness and that are keeping us in a system of oppression. Allowing myself to follow my vision, follow my heart, and follow the pathway that was unfolding before me was the scariest thing that I have ever done. And it was most definitely a roller coaster ride. It was not all rainbows and sunshine. It took me down into the darkest depths of humanity and up into the highest heights as well. And through all of the experiences I've had over the last 15 plus years, my time as a social worker and traveling, what I see is that we are in a mass cultural revolution. We are at a huge change point in society where so much more is possible than we have ever been led to believe. And the answers are not coming from the broader society. They're not coming from the world around you. They're coming from inside. So when we can clear away all the stuff that has been placed upon us, when we can return to the truest nature of ourselves, of our hearts, of our spirits, of our soul, this is where the pathway unfolds. This is where the power comes in, and this is where we gain access to the liberative culture that lives in many of our dreams. This is how we bring that culture. It starts with us, and then we ripple it out to the world around us. I know that I'm here to be part of this mass cultural change. I know that I'm here to bring about a culture of harmony, of liberation, of interdependence with the natural world, and of peace. I'm not here to maintain the status quo, and I'm not here to plug into the pre-existing oppressive systems that are already here. So I invite you to ask your heart that question. Are you here to bring about the new? If that's why you're here too, let's do it together.